Let me tell you the tale of Merrik Calcetar, once a mere shadow among the bones, now a name whispered through the hollow wind runnels of Aethelgard. They say his steps sounded not like leather on stone, but bones scraping against bone, a warning, a lament, and a curse all at once. Aethelgard is a city that has forgotten its own heart. It sprawls over a valley of ancient graves, its towers fused from the fossilized remains of titans and smaller bones alike. The city smells of dust and marrow-dry rot. Even the cats walk softly here, for the ground is restless, and the ghosts stir if you disturb what lies beneath. Merrik made his living in shadows, robbing graves beneath the city. At first, not for malice or hunger, but for the gold and arcane trinkets buried with the dead. But what was once greed became obsession, and soon he felt the weight of every soul he wronged pressing upon his chest at night. "Souls don't haunt for justice," he would mutter, picking over a ribcage with practiced hands. "They haunt because they remember." Yet as the years trickled on, the city seemed to suffer with each act of theft. Once majestic thoroughfares sagged, ashen and brittle. Houses folded into themselves like broken fingers. And the wind, always sharp with chill, began to carry voices. A susurrus of the dead, growing ever nearer as the city's spine crumbled. Some nights, Merrik dreamt of an endless seeping hunger, the kind that gnaws not at flesh, but at memory, at hope. He would wake with skeletal hands grasping at his throat, the memory of cold marrow sliding down his tongue. If I stopped now, would it matter? He wondered, guilt and futility dueling in his belly. Or is this ruin already my legacy? But worse than the guilt were the eyes. Dead and gold, flickering inside sockets only he could see. They appeared to him first as shapes in the fog, then as silent observers at the edge of the lamplight, beckoning him to places only he could tread. One chill-drenched evening, whilst Merrik pried an ivory orb from beneath a cathedral's shattered nave, the ground beneath him sang. It was not a song for the living. It was low and vast, a chant echoing against the walls of his soul. "We hunger," it whispered, and Merrik felt his own stolen souls stirring restlessly beneath his ribs. "Feed us that which you stole, or we shall feed upon all." From that moment, the dying city and Merrik were bound, a thief and his undoing, each feeding off the wounds of the other. He sought counsel where none would give it. Priests scorned him, recalling the vanished relics beneath their altars. Witches spat in the dust at his passing and clutched their bone charms tight. Every curse he'd ever earned bore fruit in the city's increasing misery. As the cracks widened, children went without sleep, driven mad by dreams of teeth and splintered spines. Desperation dragged Merrik to the necropolis, the city's marrow-rich heart, a web of ossified streets and vaults plastered in relic light. Here, the entity feasted. "What are you?" Merrik demanded, voice echoing among rib-like arches. His question trembled in the chill. "We are what remains. You are what is lost," the dark sang, and out of the gloom a shape coalesced, unformed, flickering, made of faces he had robbed, eyes hollow with accusation. His breath ghosted in the cold. Despair threatened to fold him, but something fierce and weary glimmered inside. A last spark, perhaps, or the simple defiance of a soul too battered to bow. Memories surged, his first theft, the shivering gleam of forbidden magic, the laughter he'd lost before the rot set in his conscience. Could he give it all back? Was redemption the return of power, or the surrender of self? "Take what was mine if it will mend the city," he called out, fingers digging into the meshwork of bones at his feet. "But leave them, the living, and those who never asked for this." Can a man unbury what he has stolen from himself? The darkness challenged. Merrik's jaw set. Maybe not, but he can try. He plunged his hands into the seething mass, feeling the icy spirits unspool from his marrow, pain lancing up his arms, the cold so deep he knew at last why the dead moan, for they have no warmth in which to hide. Each soul tore from him a memory, a wound, a regret, until he hung on the thinnest strand of self. When the last ghost fled, the entity recoiled. The city groaned. Cracks mended, columns righted themselves, streets once more hummed only with the living. Yet Merrik was not whole. He stumbled out, gaunter, hollow-eyed, yet unburdened at last by the oppressive chill. "There's less of me," he whispered, "but maybe enough for tomorrow." And as dawn spilled over the bone-white towers, the city sighed, relieved, if only for a season. Merrik vanished into its twisting lanes. Just another shadow, yet the memory of what he'd given up lingered in every echoing street. Tell me, traveler by firelight, would you surrender every secret, every scar, to heal a world you helped unravel? Let me know in the comments what you'd have done, and suggest whose tale might next curl from the embers. And don't forget to subscribe and like, or the dead might whisper your name by night. Until then, keep your soul close and beware the bones beneath your feet.